Yo, this viewer cooked. Can you replace the random perk on those 710 named weapons from the well? I wanted to buy the Void Gauntlet and upgrade it to 725, even though it has a PvP perk, but only if I can replace the random perk to Enchanted. Yeah, that's the whole upgrade, that you get to choose one of your perks. I think this is actually a really good idea, so let's head on over to the well. So these are the weapons they're talking about, 710 named Goldcursed items. You can upgrade them to 725, but they do have weird perks where it's like, oh, penetrating the empowered. This doesn't even sound that great for PvP. Critical hits will have 10% armor pen and reduce the duration of empowers by 7%. Whatever, but we have Keen. And then when you upgrade it, you can get the Enchanted perk. So, Keen Enchanted is all the Void Gauntlet needs. Free 725 Void Gauntlet that's pretty strong? Oh, good thing I'm making a video to test this to figure out how it works, because I randomly rolled Enchanted. I thought you could determine the perk. I thought this worked like an artifact. Okay, good. False alarm, because once you buy the weapon, it shows as an upgrade to 725, and then you still have the opportunity to change whatever you got on it, which is actually kind of nice. It means that you're not just running around with a 2-perk weapon until you save up enough to upgrade it. You have a chance at getting something cool, and if you don't, you can change it when you get a chance to upgrade it. I got lucky. I got Enchanted. This is also really nice because it's a 725 item that doesn't need a matrix. Dark Matter is free. Goldcursed Coconut, you get one a week. There's also one from the Gorgon quest. And then we just need to get 2,000 Mystic Doubloons total. 725 for the weapon, 1250 for the upgrade, and then we have a 725 good weapon. So let's see how the damage compares, because we have 1288 base damage, and then we have 1361. Yeah, that's pretty good. So if you're playing a weapon and really only Keen Enchanted matters, this is actually going to be a really good way to getting a strong gear upgrade. But what else do the comments say? Would Nature's Wrath artifact chest be good on the Void Gauntlet build, since we have permanent and power up all the time? That's also another consideration. I don't know the exact math and testing and calculations for Nature's Wrath, but yeah, limited duration empowers expire instantly. Durationless empower is reduced to 50% potency, but you always deal 20% more base damage. I saw a couple discussions on how, like, this is actually just a super cracked item that gives a lot of flat damage in almost every situation. I also imagine that farming Zygoramet is very, very easy these days, so if you actually want to go for it, and if Void Darkplate is out of rotation, yeah, also it's just like straight damage upgrade, so that could be pretty cool. And we also have to consider the Azoth Conductors. In a medium equip load, 15% more elemental damage. So I imagine this always being better, but you have to do it through the Gorgon raid. So if you want to grind for a solid gear upgrade, this actually seems like the way to go, especially with everything else we're doing. That, alright, we're grinding for our weapon, we just need a couple hundred more doubloons, and then we can make that 725, makes it easier. Void Darkplate, I'm seeing a lot of comments of people saying they're getting artifacts a lot easier. I mean, I got the Abyss without even going for it. I got Blood Drinker and the Butcher first try. Void Darkplate took 2 tries. So I think, like, artifacts are a lot more common, so it's not like, oh man, the prestige of getting a dark plate. Yeah, it's a very strong thing, and I did work for it. But I think if I want to sacrifice some durability and then go for more damage, which gives us more healing off the Blood Drinker, Nature's Wrath also seems pretty strong. Now, it is a change from heavy to medium chest, so that's going to mess up my equip load, but then we're not, like, perfect on gear, and more legendaries just get dumped into the market every day. So actually, we can go for an upgrade and then just be, like, super duper mega crazy. So I've actually never done any of the trials, because when the game first came out, they were way too expensive and way too difficult, and no one was really doing them. And then, as we got, like, more updates, the rewards from the trials didn't really seem worth it, so yeah, also I don't have the stone cutting for this. I don't have, like, 4 other people for the challenge. So yeah, I just went into recruit chat. I was like, yo, DPS looking for Zygo, and then we did it. And this is going to be my first time doing Zygo, so we'll see how easy it is. Alright, so you just do this for 5 minutes. I see how it is. Nature's Wrath. Is this the real Hayden? Does he play this game? Because that'd be funny. He said gross Verlisify, even though I really don't have much against him. I just don't like that every Smogon player hacks their Pokemon and is obnoxious about it. Alright, let's check damage. Nature's Wrath, just 2,000 on the raw hit, 2,200 with that, and then like all tethered up, 3,000 crits. 1851. 21. But then we still get like the same 3,000 crit once like ramped up. Alright, Grenadier, 14, 15, 21 crit. 13, 14, 2,000 crit. I remember seeing a lot of hype around Nature's Wrath, but I don't think it works on most weapons, especially with this. Empower when casting abilities within 5 meters of an enemy, increasing damage by 10% for 5 seconds. I mean, we're kind of always casting in melee range with the Void Blade, so we just lose this because it's a duration empower. So we lose that 30% limited right there. Forsaken Pact goes from 10% to 5%. And I guess that's also maybe why the wind-up, where it's like, oh yeah, after a couple of hits and then we get a crit, whatever other boosts are coming into play actually just negate the bonus damage from Nature's Wrath. There's also a couple other quirks, like Jasper counts as a limited duration empower, so you can't go Jasper with the Nature's Wrath. And I can still go like Emerald or Onyx Gem and still get some power out of it, but that's interesting, so you can accidentally grief yourself. It doesn't seem like it does 20% more damage, roughly 13.5%, which is actually what it feels like through what we just tested. And that's an interesting thing about the Blood Drinker, that Blood Drinker doesn't take 25% damage off the top. It's a part of the additive boost damage modification process. So it's actually closer to like 17% damage reduction, and then you still get all of the crazy life-stealing benefits. And it's like a different life-stealing effect than leeching that applies off of more things, so it's just like super duper good. However, with Nature's Wrath, it says base damage. So I would expect dealing 20% more base damage is 20% more base damage, not whatever additive stuff to where it actually just kind of feels like 13%, which isn't even that crazy. And then when you're losing empowers, you're just down. Fortunately, it wasn't a long soul-crushing grind, and this still has use on other things like the musket or just like single-shot high base damage. I see a lot of people talking about the Fire Staff being good with it. But at that point, it's like, yeah, just go for the pants that give you 15% magic damage. That's it. Good on Fire Staff, Abyss Great Axe, not necessarily together. Good with the Blunderbuss too, as you'll run Pestilence, so you can't get the Keen anyways. Oh yeah, the thing about Nature's Wrath is that Keenly Empowered, can't have that. So it takes away from a Keen Empower if you're running it. Statistically and in theory, Attuned Leather Pants is the best option for decks, especially split scale builds like Musket, so that gives you more damage than the chest piece on split scaling. Attuned Leather Pants, my guide, OP apparently. And that just doesn't work on stuff. Every single perk on the right rapier tree just doesn't work. Momentum, Omnivade, Adagio, not even a visible buff, so maybe there's also some invisible buffs that aren't getting properly applied or timed with the Nature's Wrath. So that's why you like, comment, subscribe, and share, so the YouTube algorithm pushes my video out to more people, or the people you share it with are directly informed about what is going on. I test it, so you don't have to, and then feel bad about the results. Or maybe you found some kind of sauce with this weapon, and then you comment, and then I pin it, and then maybe it makes it in a future video, and everyone else is more informed as well. But as it seems, like, yeah, you get some damage, but then it magically just completely cancels out. And that's before Retaliate comes into play, so I imagine this is just more damage at some point, and then you also just get better effects from other artifacts, like Attuned Leather Pants, really good, especially on dual scaling, so maybe you find some focus, maybe you find some stats, maybe you can have a better dual equip with this, and then Void Darkblade is just like super duper tanky for the higher level enemies, or you get the Elemental Pants and you just do straight more damage. Okay, but enough about some weird armor that goes into the mess that is the weird damage calculation of this game. Also, I'm not taking any chances because it looks like you have to re-roll. Like, this is when you choose, but if you don't choose any mod, it just re-rolls again. So you don't want to break your 725. And then I was able to get like 2,000 Mystic Doubloons in a day. 300 Dark Matter's nothing. We got our item right now. The craft does update your weapon, so it will remove the gem. It's the same thing when you upgrade artifacts as well, so keep that in mind. Don't put in a rune glass right before you're upgrading your gear. So fortunately, another Jasper is going to be super cheap. And then I think I can just re-up on my food, and we're going to watch this jump up. 1444 base damage. Oh, it's beautiful. Growing up in Florida and waiting for fishing I respect this, man. Like, I would do the same thing. You got a nice shallow area like this with some deep pockets of some saltwater fish. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see what it looks like. We put that down, and we're already into a 3,100 crit on the 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, we can't test the tether against these dummies. That's a 29 crit, so yeah, being in this matters, and yeah, we got 31. Okay. But that's with the Nature's Wrath. So, is it the same thing if we swap it out back to the Void? We go boop, we go boop, just cuz, and then we go 1, 2, 3140. Also, after checking the bar, this isn't an Empower, it's just a 10% damage while above 50 mana, so I guess that's not affecting the Nature's Wrath. Oh, nice, and I have my old Void Gauntlet on me, so we can see how much more damage we do, or how much less in this case. So, yeah, it looks like there's no way the cap is 28. Because, like, 28 on a crit. Okay, like, let's round that up. 29. Yeah, 3281. So, like, 10% damage increase for this upgrade, which is pretty significant. Bro, that's crazy. I didn't, like, super hard push the diminishing returns on the Void Gauntlet, but, like, we can kick this thing into 1700 instead of 1400. Also, we can still free up some of the points. Like, yeah, we want that extra crit chance. Also, I wonder what it's like if we have a little bit of optimization, because we do get like 20% more health if we push Constitution by another 50, but the damage is crazy. So we can get like 10% more damage by going more into focus. Outgoing healing? I don't know if that affects on like our passive proc, and we're not running orb. So I mean, can we do that and then just get like a little bit of extra health? That actually kind of scales pretty well right there. And then we have those base values. It comes down to the intelligence as well. That if like Void Blade doesn't count as ability damage. So Void Blade hitting for 3,100 on the initial crit, and then inside of this and all that fun, 3,600. All right, back to 1585 on the weapon. But I feel like in just kind of messing around in my own time, the Void Blade doesn't count as an ability. So we're going to see what happens if we like ramp up. Yeah, we crit for 3,600. So those stats don't really do anything. The DOT is different with the Disintegrate. So it's really just like, oh, we lose 10% damage, which also isn't 10% because of how the damage calculation works on our tether attack that we get every once in a while. That kind of makes things ugly. So I guess we go Focus, Magnify. We can still have the food, but then we stop it at 300 intelligence for this. And then we also want to get those other numbers we had. So this kind of hits the almost exact soft cap breakpoint, with the benefit that we get 20% buff duration. And then we also get like 0.3% damage or something. But the thing is, like, the ability damage actually doesn't matter. With the intelligence scaling, we are losing a bit on the Abyss, though. If we ever feel bad about that, then maybe I guess. But, outgoing healing effectiveness, that doesn't... Man, why doesn't Focus have any combat stuff for, like, the Flail or the Void Gauntlet? You really are just stuck here. And then pushing it here, kills and group kills, outgoing healing, something. There's no real point to flip this. So yeah, like, we're just here. Buff duration. Cool. But yeah, now that we have our 725, we're a bit more optimized, and it does just get stronger if we max out our gear and we take everything to 700, 700 plus. So we get a little bit more. And then also, that means like our base durability goes up, other stats come into play, so we can sacrifice Constitution, and maybe we find enough to actually like get a lot of or some intelligence back. Who knows? Either way, it doesn't take a lot of work to get a 725 weapon and just increase your overall damage and proficiency. And even then, like on the 710, you're still doing all right, and it's still better. It only costs 750. Really, my biggest thing is I'm regretting opening up the other chests for like the videos, the 710 elite crates. Yeah, don't do that until at least you have a 725 weapon. Also, it makes it easier when your weapon is sorted, because some of them are just more expensive to roll, so you get that out of the way by just buying the thing. Again, if it is like just Keen Enchanted is all that matters. Oh, and it's even better potentially on something like a two-handed weapon. Like the Great Axe has Vicious, not Keen. So you go 725 Great Axe, you put Trenchant Strikes on it. Done. 725. And again, you can get it in a day or even less, that if you haven't gotten the chest or you've been saving up, because I was getting them, I'm like, oh, I've gotten several thousand doubloons. I'm just going to open like 8 of the epic chests. Oops, that was a mistake. But yeah, you like get your 500 for the week. You run around through here once or twice. Like, you can still do this run if someone calls Cutlass Keys, even if you've done the elite chest, because there's tons of stockpiles. So you do that, you go deep in here, and then, yeah, and you do some of the quests for the repeatables, mix in some faction missions. There you go. A night's worth of gaming. You get 2,000 doubloons, and then you have a 725 weapon. Easy. So there we go. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.